You might find this surprising, but certain fruits, yes, simple dried fruits, can quietly protect both your memory and your eyesight while you sleep. And I'm not talking about rare, exotic berries shipped from halfway across the world. These are everyday, affordable fruits that you probably already have in your kitchen. Hi, I'm glad you're here. For over 30 years, I've been helping older adults reclaim their health, energy, and independence. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'd love for you to subscribe. Now, let me ask you something personal. Do you ever struggle to see clearly while driving at night? Do the headlights and streetlights blur into starbursts that make it harder to focus? Do you sometimes walk into a room and forget why you went there, or pause for a moment before recalling a familiar name? You're not imagining it. These aren't just senior moments. They're signals, messages from your brain and your eyes that something deeper is changing. The truth is, these changes often sneak up quietly. At first, it may just be harder to read fine print or follow the evening news. Then come the misplaced glasses, the missed appointments, and those unsettling moments when you look at someone you love, but their name doesn't come to you right away. I know how frightening that can feel. Losing control of your vision and memory doesn't just threaten your independence. It chips away at your confidence, your identity, and even your ability to connect with others. But here's what most people never hear from their doctor. The damage isn't always permanent. Your body actually has built-in repair systems, and they work hardest while you sleep. With the right nutrition, you can give those systems the support they need, without depending only on pills or expensive treatments. That's why today, I want to reveal 3 powerful dried fruits. They're easy to find, enjoyable to eat, and each one may help your brain and eyes recover overnight. Every fruit plays a unique role, but the last one is especially remarkable. It can influence memory, sharpen focus, protect your retina, and even bring a sense of calm, all while you rest. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a simple, bedtime-friendly routine that could help you wake up seeing more clearly and thinking more sharply. No gimmicks, no fads, just real food backed by science. And we'll begin with the very first fruit, one that ancient healers valued for both mental clarity and strong vision. Figs may seem like a simple fruit, but inside each one is a powerful blend of nutrients your brain and eyes quietly crave, especially as you get older. Let's start with vision. Figs are among the few dried fruits naturally rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 carotenoids that concentrate in the retina, particularly in the macula, the part of the eye responsible for sharp central vision and adapting to low light. As we age, the levels of these protective pigments decline, leaving the retina more vulnerable to blue light, oxidative stress, and degeneration. Lutein and zeaxanthin work like internal sunglasses, filtering out harmful wavelengths and neutralizing free radicals before they damage delicate photoreceptor cells. They're more than antioxidants. They act as structural shields. Low levels have been linked to early macular degeneration and reduced night vision. Now let's shift to the brain. Figs are a natural source of vitamin B6, which is essential for producing neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and GABA, chemicals that support memory, mood balance, and quality sleep. Without enough B6, your brain struggles to turn food into the neurochemical fuel it needs, often resulting in brain fog, irritability, and disrupted sleep cycles. Figs also contain polyphenol, such as quercetin and anthocyanins, compounds shown to reduce neuroinflammation, a key factor in age-related memory decline. In fact, a 2021 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that diets rich in polyphenol-containing fruits like figs were associated with larger hippocampal volume and faster-working memory response times in adults over 60. On top of that, figs provide a gentle supply of natural glucose that supports the brain's glymphatic system. the nighttime cleansing process that clears waste and helps the brain repair itself during sleep. Their prebiotic fiber also nourishes healthy gut bacteria, which produce short-chain fatty acids that influence not only digestion, but also brain function and even visual processing. Here's a real-world example. Carol, a 67-year-old former librarian, began eating 2 soaked figs each night. Within just a few weeks, she noticed less eye strain when reading in the evenings and fewer lapses in short-term memory during her morning routines. Now, are figs a miracle cure? Of course not. But when included as part of a nourishing nighttime routine, they create the internal conditions your brain and eyes need to repair, protect, and perform at their best. Now, let's turn to one of the smallest fruits in your pantry, yet one with a surprisingly big impact on both the brain and the eyes: raisins. They may be tiny, but when it comes to preserving mental sharpness and protecting vision, especially during sleep, raisins pack a powerful punch. Their value goes far beyond natural sweetness. What makes raisins so important for older adults is their concentrated supply of polyphenol, boron, and natural iron, each playing a unique role in shielding the retina and supporting cognitive health. One of the biggest threats to both vision and memory is oxidative stress, the silent force behind age-related macular degeneration and neurodegenerative decline. Raisins are rich in flavonoids and phenolic acids, including resveratrol, a compound more often associated with red wine, that helps fight oxidative damage at the cellular level. Resveratrol, one of the standout compounds in raisins, has a unique ability to cross both the blood-retina and blood-brain barriers. Once inside, it acts as a neurovascular protector, calming inflammation and guarding sensitive photoreceptor and neural tissues against oxidative damage. In fact, a 2020 study published in Nutrients found that regular consumption of raisins improved antioxidant capacity in older adults while lowering systemic inflammation, 2 factors strongly linked to retinal thinning and shrinkage of the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. Put simply, raisins may help slow the structural breakdown of the very tissues that control how clearly you see and how sharply you think. Raisins also provide boron, a trace mineral often overlooked but essential for calcium balance, eye coordination, and short-term memory processing. Low boron levels have been tied to delayed reaction times, reduced hand-eye coordination, and poor visual focus, especially in adults over 60. On top of that, raisins are a natural source of iron, which supports healthy hemoglobin levels and ensures oxygen is delivered efficiently to both the optic nerve and brain cells during sleep. Since the body's most active repair happens at night, better oxygenation means your cells have the fuel they need to restore themselves, something that often declines sharply with age, particularly in those with even mild anemia. Raisins also provide natural glucose, but unlike refined sugar, it's absorbed more steadily thanks to their fiber. This steady release of energy helps fuel the brain's glymphatic system, the cleanup network that works hardest at night to clear out waste and protein buildups tied to memory loss. Let me share a quick example. A 73-year-old former engineer often woke up feeling sluggish and noticed his peripheral vision seemed dimmer in the mornings. I suggested he replace his late-night cookie with a small handful of unsweetened raisins about an hour before bed. Within just 4 weeks, he reported waking up mentally sharper and even joked that his Sudoku times had improved. The truth is, tiny changes add up. When enjoyed mindfully, raisins can support faster visual processing and greater mental alertness, especially when the body's repair systems are most active during rest. And next, we'll explore a fruit that not only calms the mind before bed, but also supports deep brain recovery and sharper visual perception. Let's talk about the incredible power of dates. Among all dried fruits, Dates may be the most overlooked when it comes to supporting an aging brain and tired eyes, especially overnight. Yes, they're naturally sweet, but behind that sweetness lies a dense nutritional profile designed for repair, not just energy. Dates contain a unique combination of natural sugars, magnesium, potassium, vitamin B6, and tryptophan, all working together to fuel nighttime recovery for both the nervous system and vision. Take tryptophan, for example. This amino acid found in dates is a precursor to melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone. When melatonin levels are balanced, you don't just fall asleep more easily. You're also more likely to reach the deep sleep stages where memory consolidation and neural repair occur. During this phase, the brain's glymphatic system switches into high gear, clearing away metabolic waste and toxic proteins such as beta amyloid, which have been linked to Alzheimer's disease. The general supply of natural glucose in dates provides just enough energy to keep this system running efficiently through the night, without spiking insulin or disrupting restful sleep. Magnesium is another key nutrient found in dates, and it's one that many older adults don't get enough of. This mineral regulates NMDA receptors in the brain, which are critical for learning and memory. Low magnesium levels have been closely linked to cognitive decline in people over 65. Dates offer a steady, plant-based source of magnesium that may help ease nighttime anxiety, calm brain inflammation, and reduce sleep disturbances. But the benefits don't stop at the brain. Potassium, also abundant in dates, supports the optic nerve by maintaining smooth electrical signaling from the retina to the brain. Paired with vitamin B6, which is essential for producing neurotransmitters like dopamine and GABA, dates can have a calming effect on the visual system and help reduce eye strain at night. Research backs this up. A 2022 review in Nutrients reported that date fruit extract reduced neuronal cell death and improved spatial memory in aged rodents. While large-scale human trials are still limited, the underlying mechanisms, antioxidant activity, neuroprotection, and anti-inflammatory effects, are highly relevant to aging adults. And all of this comes from a fruit that has been relied on for thousands of years, not just for energy, but for clarity, focus, and emotional balance. A 70-year-old widow who struggled to fall asleep and often woke up disoriented or anxious began eating 1 or 2 soft medjool dates about 45 minutes before bed. Within weeks, she reported deeper sleep and clearer mornings. In her own words, she could remember names, details, and even where she had left her keys the night before. A simple ritual, yes, but for the brain and eyes, it can be an invitation to heal. Now that you've learned about the benefits of figs, raisins, and dates, the next step is putting them together into a routine you can actually follow every night. The key is consistency. Just like brushing your teeth or dimming the lights before bed, this habit should become part of your evening rhythm, not something stressful or complicated. Here's the plan I often recommend to my patients and why it works. Timing matters. Your brain begins preparing for its deep healing phases about 90 minutes before sleep, when melatonin levels rise and the glymphatic system, your brain's nighttime cleanup crew, starts to activate. This is the ideal window to give your nervous system the right kind of fuel. Start with 2 soaked dried figs about an hour before bed. Soaking them in warm water for 6 to 8 hours makes them easier to digest and boosts the availability of fiber and antioxidants. You can prepare them in the morning and have them ready by evening. After that, add a small handful of unsweetened raisins, about a tablespoon. Choose raisins without added sugars or coatings. These provide polyphenol and boron in just the right dose to calm inflammation in the retina and the brain. Finally, finish with 1 soft medjool date, ideally organic. Remember, it's not about eating a large amount of dried fruit. It's about quality, balance, and rhythm. Each one plays a different role, figs to support visual clarity and neurotransmitter balance, raisins to reduce oxidative stress and improve blood flow, and dates to promote calm, steady energy for deep brain repair. You can enjoy these fruits one by one or combine them in a small bowl, paired with a cup of warm herbal tea. Chamomile or fennel are both excellent choices. Just be sure to allow 30 to 60 minutes before lying down so your body has time to digest gently. And one important reminder, this ritual isn't about chasing instant results. The real benefits come with consistency. Over time, your brain and eyes begin to receive steady nourishment, less inflammation, and more effective overnight recovery. I've seen patients who, after weeks of this habit, started sleeping through the night again. Others noticed their memory felt clearer in the early morning hours. Some even found they no longer needed such bright reading lamps or their phone's flashlight setting to see in the evening. No, this isn't a miracle cure, but it is a foundation. And for many people over 60, a reliable foundation is exactly what has been missing. So if you're still wondering whether it's too late to repair what's been lost, stay with me. In the final part of this video, I want to leave you with one last thought before we close that if you stayed with me until now, I want to remind you of something simple yet powerful. You haven't missed your window. I've met so many patients who believe that poor sleep, fading memory, and blurry night vision were just an unavoidable part of aging. They thought decline was automatic, like a light slowly dimming with time. But that's not the whole story, not even close. Your brain and eyes, even at 62, 72, or beyond, still hold an incredible ability to repair, restore, and recover. No, it may not look exactly the way it did in your 30s, but clarity, steadiness, and confidence can return. And they don't come from fads or miracle pills. They come from small, intentional habits, simple choices repeated each day, and especially each night. 3 dried fruits, taken calmly and consistently, can create the right conditions for your body to do what it was designed to do: restore itself while you sleep. You don't have to change everything overnight. It begins with just one bowl, one pause before bed, one small act of nourishment, repeated night after night, until the fog begins to lift. And if you've been feeling discouraged, maybe forgetting names more often, or struggling with glare when driving, I want you to know this: you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not broken. Your body is wiser than most people give it credit for. It's simply waiting for the right signals. What you eat, how you rest, the choices you make each day, these are the signals your body needs to heal. Thank you, truly, for staying with me all the way to the end. If this video gave you hope or helped you understand your body a little better, I'd be honored if you shared it, left a comment, or subscribed. Especially if you're over 60 and looking for safe, natural ways to protect your health. There's much more to come. Because you deserve to wake up with clarity. You deserve to see the world in your own life and focus again. And the journey back doesn't have to wait for tomorrow. It can begin tonight with something as simple as a fig, a raisin, and a date. Sleep well, and I'll see you in the next video.